So how do we know if we're swinging the golf club too flat, and indeed what is too flat? So some of the common shots that happens if we are too flat is, number one, is you hit the golf ball to the right. So when the swing is going more around the body from here, it's very easy to come into the golf ball with the club face wide open. Your hands are leading the club face, and that can open the club face and cause the shot that goes right. So if we are swinging too flat here, as I strike it, my shot will tend to go off in that direction. Now the other thing that we can easily get from there if we're swinging too flat is to thin the golf ball, i.e. hit the middle or towards the top of it. And that's because the club, as it's coming down into impact, there isn't enough distance from the leading edge of the club to the sternum, and that now so the hands are slightly ahead, and from here it's pulling the golf club off the ground, so it's very, very easy to thin the shot. So the flatter we swing, the easier it is to top the golf ball or thin the golf ball. Then the other issue that we get from here is if we are too flat, sometimes you can get stuck on the downswing and you can't really release the club, or total opposite of that, and you'll re-rotate your wrists and forearms and you'll end up with a great big hook shot, the one that's moving from right to left if you're right-handed. So let me hit the first bad one, which will go off to the right with an open club face. So I'll try and do this slowly for you so you can check it. So now the club now is sitting almost level, parallel to the ground from here. So when I get that, you see how low my hands are and how behind my shoulders the golf club is. So again, this is a real issue with some golf that we see. So dare we say Ricky Fowler, his golf swing always looked a little bit too flat for me, but he had fantastic hands and forearms, so he was able to hit some wonderful golf shots. But if you're not hitting tons of shots every day, you really will struggle if you get too flat. So let's go too flat, way too round here, and there's that top shot that would have gone off to the right. So I wasn't particularly trying to hit that with any speed. So, and then the other shot that we can get from there is if we're too flat here, my body will tend to stall at impact to allow my hands and forearms to catch up. But if we do that, the club face is rotating too much, and that can easily send the golf ball to the left. So I'll hit this one to the left now with a backswing that's too flat. Way around here, rotated my wrists and forearms through impact from there, and that's the one that sent the shot way off to the left. So really difficult to find your target if you're way offline. So the two worst swing paths in golf are too upright or too flat, which cause the two worst shots in golf, right going right and left going left. So if they're the worst, somewhere in the middle of those two is not going to be a bad idea to start to swing the golf club on. So we're saying roughly at 45 degrees. Now, one of the best things that you can do if you don't know whether you're too flat or not is get your video camera out, your phone or your tablet, and video your backswing. So an app that I use at propergolfing.com is called Coach Now. It's a free app that you can sign up to, but it'll give you an opportunity to slow your swing down and put some lines on, and you can make comments on there and you can save them. So it's a fabulous app that we use at Proper Golfing. But the best thing to do is check it. So ideally, when we get the club roughly to this point in the backswing, the butt of the club should be pointing on what's called your ball to target line. So that's a good guide to see whether you're in a pretty neutral place or not. So anything too flat from here causes all those issues that I was talking about. So if I had a preference, I would prefer a golf swing to be slightly flatter than too upright. Upright can cause some serious problems, but likewise we don't want to be too flat where we have to manipulate the golf club back to square using hand and eye coordination, because if you try to do that consistently you won't really hit targets. So what we're looking for roughly when we get to this point is the club is at 45 degrees and the butt of the club is pointing towards the ball to target line. So keep rehearsing that. Now, if you haven't got a video camera or you haven't got a tablet, if you've got a mirror or a window as a reflection, swing it back and then check in the mirror to see if you're roughly at this point from here. And then once you're there, it's just a simple cocking of the wrist, and that gets the club nice and neat to the top of the backswing. So if your forearms and wrists are rotating too much, that's going to make the club get too far behind you. Now, this is what I say to all my students is, if the club is controlling you, you've got an issue. But if you can control it, so at this point here, I could almost let go of this. I've just opened my hands and the club's perfectly balanced in between my hands and it feels as light as a feather. But if I get it here and open my hands, I can feel the club controlling me. So if you're in that situation, you really are going to be inconsistent with this game of golf. So when we get it to here, it's light as a feather, I've opened my fingers, and that now has put the club in a perfectly neutral position. And if we get that right, nice golf shots will become so much easier. So I hope you found this video helpful. Check your backswing, make sure that you're doing it correctly. But if you really want to take your golf to another level and you want to fully understand how you should be swinging, you really should sign up to propergolfing.com. It's a fabulous website that I've designed. It's all structured so that you'll fully understand what you need to be doing. And if you like this, please subscribe to my channel and share this with your friends if you know that it's going to help them. And please leave a comment in the box below if you've got any issues with your golf swing. I'll always answer them as quickly as possible. So I hope this has helped, and thanks for watching. Bye.